something spooky coming to one of Cape Girardeau's major historical places tonight at the Glenn House. Now, volunteers are already offering you a chance to learn a little more about the place and what makes it so special and frightening. Take a listen. How do most people describe this place?
Well, I think it kind of depends on if you're a Glenn family member or not. Most people say it's beautiful, and it is, but that it's got kind of a dark and creepy vibe.
What are we doing tonight?
Oh my gosh, so on Tuesday nights during the month of October, of course throughout the year, throughout all of October, the house is in mourning and we have our mourning wear exhibition, but we do our ghost tours on Tuesday nights.
What are some of those own experiences like for people?
Oh my gosh, well, it depends on, we don't manufacture anything here, so people ask me all the time, is the Glenn House a haunted attraction? It is definitely not. It is a Victorian house museum that we think just happens to be haunted. So it's not uncommon to be in here alone and have doors shut on you, to hear footsteps, particularly in the room that we're in. Up above us is the children's room, which is the source of a lot of our ghost stories. And so it's not uncommon to hear like pitter-pattery little feet up there. At Christmas time, we've had a number of experiences with presents getting unwrapped and things like that. You met Josh Hepler when you came today, who's a volunteer here. Josh had a very kind of scary experience here in this room that we're in.
Well, I was in this room in the floor, kind of documenting some objects one night, and I was the only person in the house. I kept hearing what I thought was somebody coming in, so I would stop and look up every now and then, but nobody was there. Finally, after like the third or fourth time, something caught my eye up here, and I had looked up, and there was this dark, circle, looked like a face that was like peering around the corner up here.
So what exactly are we looking at?
Well, and so I know this may be a little bit atypical for a Victorian house museum, but we've actually come into the house when there's been a death in the family. And in this case, the death would have been caused potentially from arsenic poisoning. This is an arsenic dress. So there was a time period at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution where we didn't exactly know the poisonous qualities of certain chemicals that we were using. Green was a fashionable color, but it was hard to get it to stick to fabrics. And so when you would wear them, you would turn green, and people didn't like that, obviously. So they started playing with all of these chemicals during the Industrial Revolution, and they found one that they could super saturate fabrics with and that wouldn't come off on your skin. Unfortunately, that fabric solidifier was arsenic. And so if you wore the dress, obviously, when you got warm and started to sweat, your pores would open. You might have a blood-tinged sweat.
That's blood.
Actual sweat. So the red that you see on there is a byproduct of the sweat. We have had the dress tested, and it does contain high levels of arsenic, so this truly is an arsenic dress. We have an example one on a board here that's actually in the Smithsonian now. It was featured on a certain nationally syndicated TV show that people are familiar with in 2020, and has been on several other shows that are all paranormal related. And so a lot of folks in our community have heard stories about the house. This is their chance tonight to learn the history, who lived here, why we think the house might be haunted, who might still be hanging out today, and see if they have their own experiences.
I have no words, Jeffrey.
That was an incredible experience going through there. Granted, it was not dark. It was not at night. So I was very lucky to be there during the day because I don't do well with scary stuff.
I'm not going there in the day or at night. I'm sorry. Nope, I saw it. Whew.
I think what I loved the most about it was the actual history in there, because that place is just a plethora of history. But yeah, whenever I was adding in that creepy music, I was like, I bet this will get Cassie.
I had a little goosebumps. I don't do scary stuff at all. So
she's rocking. Anyways,
awesome.
Well, if you're up for the scare, unlike Cassie, the first After Dark tour of the Glenn House is tonight at 6:30, with tours starting every half hour until 8:30 p.m. That's happening at 325 South Spanish Street, and you're encouraged to pre-register. The cost is $20 a person, and come for the ghost stories, s'mores, tarot readings, and other activities. Now, if you can't make it out tonight, After Dark tours of the Glenn House are happening every Tuesday night through Halloween.